Hi guys, it's Wendy from Ask the Landlady, and I'm here with all the tips and tricks to help you make a profit in real estate rentals. And today's question from someone is, what is the best way to paint the interior of your unit? Okay, so as landlords, we end up painting and repainting and touching up paint and doing paint because everybody wants nice walls, right? We all want those nice walls. So you're gonna end up dealing with paint one way or another. But let's be clear, I don't paint my own units now. I did back in the beginning, and I soon had to be a task. I had to farm out to somebody else, and I had to do it pretty quickly because it's not my talent to be a painter. I was always excited about gathering up the materials. Everybody is, and looking at paint chips. What neutral paint am I going to paint all my units? You know, it's going to be sand dollar. We did that for many years, sand dollar everywhere. We've changed to a more, as trends go, we're going a little more grayish, white gray, but we used to be more beige. So you're gonna pick out your paint colors, you're gonna be excited about it. But I learned real quickly that I would get in a hurry, and I just was never passionate about it. I'd end up making a mess, and it was always frustrating because at the end of the day, I'd be covered in paint. My husband was clean as a daisy because he was a good painter, so he did that for a while. But that being said, even though I don't paint my apartments and I was never that great about it, I do know the best way to paint. And that's helpful when I'm trying to find staff or somebody to help me paint my units. So not everyone is suited to doing that, and definitely not for drywall work either, trust me. But if you're a do-it-yourself kind of gal or guy and you want to paint your own apartments, that's great because you're going to save money and you can go in there and get very zen and paint them, and you're going to save a lot of money in the long run by doing that work yourself. So here's a few things that I would say you want to do to best paint the interior of your unit. First of all, you want to prep your space carefully, okay? I know you want to jump right in, right? Time is money, got to get this thing done. But the more time you take up front to prep the space, the better. You don't want to spill a whole gallon of paint onto the carpet. I had a helper do that once, and believe me, it was not a good day for him or me. So you want to lay down plastic everywhere, and you want to cover that, and you want to tape along the bottom of the baseboards, right? And you want to just have all that prepped. The walls, you don't want to just start slapping it on there, especially if there's holes on there. You want to take some spackle or some joint compound and fill those holes, and you may have to sand them and come back, and there's a whole process, right? If not, you're going to have bad looking walls, and it's going to bother you and your tenants every time they come in and just see where it wasn't properly prepped. And plaster walls, that stuff can get a little trickier. You might actually want to hire a professional for that. There's a ton of YouTube videos out there on how to best fill the holes in your apartment. So you might want to look those up and get those in place. Number two, you want to buy good paint, and you definitely want to do a good primer, especially if it's somebody who smoked or there's some odor or pets or something in the property. You want to put some primer down there. That's going to seal the walls very nicely before you put your fresh coat of paint on there. And if you use better quality paint, you're not going to have to do so many coats. Again, time is money. They're moving out, you want somebody else to move in, so you got to be quick. So you want to have some good paint. It's also going to mean that it's going to hold up better, and you're going to be able to clean it. And you want it to have a satin or eggshell type of sheen so that it's easy to wipe down. You don't want a flat paint. Never do that, because that can't be cleaned later. And all your trim work, you're going to want a gloss, because then that's where all those door jambs where you get a lot of fingerprints and windows where they're opening them, then it's much easier to clean at the end, and it's easier for your tenants to clean, which means they're going to keep your properties up better if you use that good quality paint. Number three, you want to gather the right tools. Good paintbrush is going to be your best friend in the long run, because you can wash it out and keep using it versus just throwing them away. And you want a roller brush with an extension so you can do the ceiling, and definitely some sort of lint free so you don't have problems. If you get the cheap stuff, it's going to make the job less fun, and it's also going to be more problematic in the long run. So start out with that type of thing, and then some sort of little scraping tool, like a little 3/8-inch, like a little scraper to get in those crevices when you're painting. That's going to get that stuff off so you don't make such a mess. Okay. And the fourth point I have about interior painting is to paint in the correct order. Okay. Start at the top. So the ceilings first, while your floors are all covered, right? Because you don't want that splatter down there. And if you went from the other way, when you get the ceilings, you might get splatters everywhere else, right? So you start at the top first, do that rollering. Next, you want to do all your trim work, cut in, and do your doors and your trim and all that stuff. Then you're gonna tackle the walls by first, doing the perimeter, cutting in with the paintbrush, and then using your roller with nice, even strokes. That's the fun part, man. That's when the color really happens. See, you don't get to the good part till the end, covering the floors, getting the good quality paint, prepping, doing all that, and then at the end, whew, that's the fun part. You get to roller it all off, and the last thing you want to do are the baseboards. Okay, you do your trim, ceiling, trim, walls, baseboards last, right? That's where you can take care of any little drips there, because you've rollered the walls, you might end up with some drips there, and then you can just clean those off, paint the baseboards, and then you're out of there, all done. So there you have it, my 4 tips and tricks on interior painting to make it a beautiful place in the long run. And I recommend every landlord or landlady in the beginning, at least do a room or so yourself, simply so you know what the task is like, what your requirements are, and how to do it right, so that you can find people to help you later on, because not everybody's a good painter. Everybody say, oh yeah, I can paint, and then they come in and they can't paint, right? So that if you know the right way to do it, it's gonna be easier for you to find people who know the right way to do it. So again, it's not easy being a landlord or landlady, and we're all in this together. So shoot me a comment. Do you paint your own units? I'd love to hear about it. Hit subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a great day.